This is Agmese, my entry for Agma Schwa's second Cursed Conlang Circus contest. Sadly, I didn't have time to record anything other than me reading the B-movie opening in Agmese, so you will have to put up with this text-to-speech voice. In Agmese, the language is called Ung, because Agma is the best nasal, as you should know. You see, Agmese has no vowel phonemes, and instead the nucleus of a syllable is always a syllabic nasal consonant. Plosives and affricates are allowed in the coda of a syllable, but they must have the same place of articulation as the nasal. Codas that consist of S, followed by a voiceless non-retroflex plosive, or Z followed by a voiced non-retroflex plosive, are also allowed, as well as codas that are just S or Z. After the retroflex nasal, S and Z become retroflex. The first syllable of a word has high tone, and all following syllables have low tone. The word order is SVO clauses are not required to have dummy subjects and can instead simply have no subject. Verbs are preceded by M and direct objects are preceded by N. Verbs are negated by replacing M with NT before the verb. The copula is NJ and it does not have M before it when it is the main verb of a clause, but it does have UNT before it when negated. The word for exist is NSP, and the thing that exists can be either the subject or the object. Adverbs come before verbs, but after M or NT. When the copula has adverbs before it and it is not negated, M is placed before the adverbs, like with other verbs. Auxiliary verbs are placed before the verbs they modify. Adjectives come before nouns and have the word ns after them. Numbers do not need the word ns. The word njst, which means what or which, also does not need the word ns when used like an adjective or an adverb. It is possible to turn a multi-word noun phrase into an adjective using ns. Adverbs can be created in a similar manner using ns. Possession is also marked using ns. Definiteness is marked with the word Agmese, which is put before the noun it modifies. Adjectives are put before the word Agmese. Relative clauses are put before the noun that they modify and have ns after them. If the modified noun is the subject of the relative clause, then the subject is omitted in the relative clause. Otherwise, the slot where the modified noun would go is filled with the word mis. A relative clause that ends with ns and has no modified noun after it is a free relative clause. A subordinate clause introduced by a conjunction, like Agma skj, nzg, or nzb, can be moved to the start, and when this is done the word retroflex nzb is placed after it, before the rest of the clause. There are no words for more or most, and instead nzd, which means less, and nzd, which means least, must be used. The following is a reading of the B-movie opening in Agmese. I'm sorry for the leaf blower in the background.